I hope that was the first thing that went out over the air. And this is episode 3 of The Witches, my half of what Stacy and I are calling Paranormal Mondays. It's been, 3 weeks since I ran, 4 weeks, something like that. And we are switching back to the swamps of Florida from the fun-filled werewolf times of Washington State. Can anyone do a recap?
Not me.
No.
That means Stacy gets to do it.
All I remember is that at the end of it, or towards the end of it, I was talking to some serial murderer outside of a church.
Oh, yeah, that guy. I forgot about that guy.
Well,
and I invited him over to paint the house.
Of course you did.
that was, yeah. I think you're just being a little bourgeois in your definitions. I mean,
Bourgeois, really?
yes.
Why is that?
I mean, just because he's different from you morally doesn't necessarily mean that he's a serial killer.
Well, some of the other things that he said made him come off as a serial killer. I can't remember what they all were, but it was something about how people needed to be punished, or somehow they disappeared around him, or something. I don't remember what it was, but it creeped me out.
It was all very Children of the Corn.
Yes.
Which, considering the source,
Exactly.
Okay. So, yeah, basically you guys have been become aware of a kind of there's a rising tide. Something bad is going to happen. You still haven't quite figured out exactly what is bad, but you know it's not good, and it's going to lead to death and destruction and people wearing clown shoes probably. So, all right, so we start the session. It's the middle of the night. Everyone has been asleep for a while. Now, Kismet, you're still sleeping on Tansy's couch, right?
Sure.
Tansy.
Yes.
Okay, I'm just confirming that you're still.
But it's okay, and I'm not
You're still babysitting.
Yeah, I'm warming up to her a little. I still think she's weird.
That's perfectly normal.
So it's a couple hours before dawn, and Kismet is having a nightmare.
Oh, that's normal.
Yeah. Well, this one's weird even for you. Everything it's just the deepest dark that you have ever not seen in this case, and you can hear kind of things you can't really identify. It's like kind of movement and rustling, but you're unable to move. It's that sort of sleep paralysis thing. And as you're going deeper into the dream, you kind of sense a motion in front of your face, and you see a kind of a waxen, ashy face with deep burning eyes, and it kind of leans in, and you can feel its breath against your face, and it is, the breath smells of like the bottom of the swamp. That sort of mix of decay and gunky water and dead animals and
Gross.
yeah. And then, but all you can see is the kind of the burning eyes, and they slowly start to recede. And then you hear a scream, and you realize that it's you, and you wake up.
Okay.
And as you wake up, you say, are you ready? He isn't coming, he is here.
Wait, say that again?
He isn't coming, he is here. And you can still kind of feel a presence of it's kind of, you're used to death. It's kind of like, you know, death kind of sat in an old shoe out in the sun.
Wow.
Kind of feel to you. It's not because you're kind of used to death and having, you know, dead crap around you and all that. This is kind of like icky death.
Are there any ghosts around?
No. There are no spirits. It is very quiet. You can hear some animals in the distance, and you can hear Tansy waking up because you probably screamed out very loudly.
Mm-hmm.
So it's about like 2, 3 o'clock in the morning.
I think I'd probably stumble out there, because if I heard somebody scream, I would get up out of bed to find out what's going on.
I explained what happened.
That's it, and so I'm like asking you, look, is this a nightmare or is it a premonition? Do you have the ability to have a premonition about this?
I think it's something that's here now and is happening at the moment.
So it's like second sight. It wasn't just a silly nightmare, right?
I don't think so. I have silly nightmares all the time. This wasn't anything like those.
Something like that. Okay. It was in the swamp? Is it coming from the swamp?
Well, it smells like the swamp, so I would assume that it's coming from the swamp. Can I track it at all?
What do you mean?
Like,
Can you find it in
I
town?
feel this presence. Does it feel like if I move around, does it feel like it gets more intense in certain places and less in others, or?
Oh, in the room? No, it's just kind of it's kind of like you know when like the fog starts to burn off in the morning.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, it's that sort of sensation. You can feel it, but it's like
Dissipating?
yeah.
I don't think it's here now.
It's one of those things that people are seeing as a kind of like a win-win.
Who's talking in the background?
My husband.
Oh, husbands, God.
Yeah, they're just the worst.
Ugh.
Pains in the ass. Okay, so, well, now you're both up and it's 3 o'clock in the morning. Nobody's going back to sleep after that dream.
Correct.
And the diner's not open. So no pancakes for you.
So we should call everybody else and wake them up.
I put a cup. I make coffee.
Yeah, I guess if you're going to be up, it means you should probably share the pain and wake everyone else's asses up too.
Seems wise.
Yeah. All right, so about a half hour, 45 minutes pass, and eventually the other two kind of drag themselves in to Tansy's place, neither really looking thrilled about it. I assume you fill them in.
Yeah.
Yep.
I tell them we've got it. We have to plan. We have to make a plan. We've got to go after this thing, whatever it is. We can't wait for it to come to us. It'll be too late.
That sounds like a good idea.
So, Kismet, what are your ideas on how we find this thing?
Why do I have to have the ideas?
Well, you already smelled it.
You're the death mage.
Yeah. Death is coming. Get on it, Death
No,
Mage.
it's not. It's here.
Well, all right. It's not here in the room.
Well, I don't know.
definitely connecting with Kismet. So I don't know if it's targeting her specifically, if it's wanting to attack her, draw her in, or if it's just, I don't know.
Probably just that she's attuned to death and it represents death. I don't know though.
And with all the other spirits in, gone, what's there? Wonder if it like sucks the spirits out of the atmosphere.
Or they just panic and run off.
Miles, what's your character's name again?
Nemesis.
Oh, that's right. Your name is Nemesis, but you're not my nemesis.
Right.
What are you good at, Nemesis?
Twists of fate.
Huh.
Now, when you guys spoke, when you finally got the working seance going and spoke to the spirits, they were telling you that things were coming.
Mm-hmm.
And that, death was coming, and there was going to be destruction, and apparently
It's here. But how can we stop it if we have no idea where it is or what it is? We've got to get ahead of this. But I don't know how.
well, you've probably got a couple of suspects.
Well, we've got the crazy serial killer guy. Did we all know about him? Did Kismet tell everybody about it?
Probably not then,
Yeah.
but
No, I did. I told everybody all about him and that he was coming over to paint Abuela's house.
When is he going to be doing that?
Whenever he feels like it.
Oh, it's not like we don't know when he's coming? Okay. Brilliant.
yeah, it's more of a surprise. He's going to show up and paint everything black.
Mm-hmm. Except for a red door.
Yeah.
Okay, I have no brilliant ideas, guys.
I bet Carmen has an idea.
I think she does. Or not.
Well, I think we need to explore the area
Okay.
out in the swamps to see if there are any ritual leftovers from rituals or anything that's been disturbed in the natural order, so that we can try to figure out what this thing is that's here, so that we can turn around and research how to get rid of it.
Let's go out. Let's all go out and stand in the swamps.
In the middle of the night, because,
And with death in the air. I'm all for it. We'll lure this thing out if nothing else.
So I do have. Should we be doing like rituals of protection? I'm trying to channel my
inner New Age wonk.
thinking. What was that Aaron Spelling series about the witches?
Charmed.
I'm channeling my charmed. Should we be making potions that we can use to throw at whatever shows up?
I have an ability in potions, but they aren't those kind of. I might have like a protection from evil potion or something like that. But I don't know, GM. How do you rule that? Like, what can I make and what can't I make, and how do I do that game mechanics wise?
That's one of your power portfolio, right?
Right.
Which one is it? What do you have? Okay. What do you want to make? Just something like just kind of a basic protection kind of thing?
Yeah, a protection potion and maybe like a holy water kind of potion, but not holy water, but whatever, something to ward off evil.
Why don't you Why don't you roll? Why don't you roll? What the fuck is what I'm looking for so that I can. What's your character's influence?
0.
Okay. So roll plus influence.
And how do I roll again in this game?
You roll 2 6-siders.
That would be 8.
Okay. Yeah, I mean you're able to make the potions. They're probably not as they're not going to last as long as
Okay. I give
the things
everybody
you normally would. So
a vial of the potion on a ribbon that they can tie around their neck, and I tell them, I don't know how long this potion will last, but if we encounter something where you feel like you need extra protection, take it.
Okay, I've got a question about the process of the game.
okay.
All right, so we're witches,
Yes.
so we have witchy powers.
Yes.
We've got one person who talks to the dead. We have one
Yes.
person who's making potions, but that's not necessarily her main thing. She's shapeshifter.
Right.
We have Nemesis who's doing what?
Luck.
And then you've got me who does telekinetics. So we really don't have anything, in my opinion, that's really
Offensive?
exactly.
Yeah, no, we're kind of sitting ducks.
Death
We don't have anybody who throws lightning bolts from their fingertips.
So I'm trying to figure out
Death
how.
magic is fairly offensive.
What is?
Death magic is fairly offensive. I mean, in a number of definitions of the term. But
So-
I mean, she can kill people with death magic.
Oh, yeah.
So
She's our warrior.
So is this something that she has to cast so that she's got, daggers ready to go, or does she have a wand that she flings stuff with, or is she just inherently able to cast a spell?
it's a combination of things depending on what she wants to do in a specific situation. I mean, a lot of the times it's just a matter of kind of moving the energy around.
She doesn't have spells she needs to prep. Is that your question? Whether she has to get
Yeah,
ready?
Well, I'm trying to figure out how she's actually able to cast an offensive spell.
What the casting mechanic is. I gotcha. I think you just declare that you're going to do
Yeah.
X, and then you have to roll your 2d6
Right.
to see if you're successful. And that's for everything in the game, I think.
Right. Well, the degree of the success.
Yeah, the degree of success. And Chris decides how hard it is.
Yeah.
Or do you? No, you don't in this game, do you? It's like either if it's a 10 or to 12, it's a certain thing. If it's less,
Right.
I don't remember yeah, okay. Does that make sense, Carmen? Is that what you were asking?
Yeah, it just feels like we do a lot of time chasing something that's not there without really having
Tools?
tools or actually accomplishing. Last week was great because we actually had a conversation or an action with somebody we could investigate.
Right. No, I'm still a little lost. I hear you. I think.
So I'm just trying to figure out,
How do
and
we
I'm
move?
trying to deal with the super powery part of Worlds of Peril versus the witch world. I'm trying to align those. Maybe I'm overthinking it.
Once you do, let me know.
Okay. Yeah.
So let's all pile into the VW microbus and drive out to the swamp. I don't actually have a VW microbus. I forget what kind of car I have.
Shovels and rakes and implements of destruction.
Yeah. Grab a torch and a pitchfork, village person.
So based on what we've seen so far and what we've got coming, do we think this is a demon or a vampire or some kind of ghost-affiliated thing? What do we think that this is in terms of a creature? Do we have enough clues to give us some kind of direction?
I think it's that guy.
You think it's the serial killer guy?
Yeah, sure.
Is that guy?
Because he's the only thing we've had that is not one of us.
No, I'm just if I'm wrong, then it'll be all a happy coincidence. But if I'm right, I'm right.
Well, I think he's supernatural, if that's what you're asking, and I think it's some sort of, I don't want to say demon necessarily, but
Maybe even just a conduit.
yeah.
Maybe the thing follows around.
Yeah. Ooh, I like that idea.
Well, the thing that that Kismet dreamed about is definitely has a lot of death magic to it.
So
like
it's almost like it's
it's like a kind of a pool of deep, dark, murky, smelly, bloody water that just keeps getting deeper
right.
the further you dive into
So,
it.
so if we're going with like the Devon Monk version of death magic, where it's got all of these ghosts chained to the person wielding death magic, there's the sense that that creature is chained to somebody else doing death magic besides Kismet. Is
Right.
that okay?
That seems a good way to go about it, sure.
Okay.
Okay, driving the swamp. Here we go. Got to do something.
What are we gonna do?
Go out to the swamp, see if we can detect anything.
Just randomly?
I don't know what else to do. I'm more than willing to listen to other ideas.
Well, we could go wherever that wandering, scary hobo is. Yeah.
Okay, let's go check him out
This
first.
is the church.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's go
Nothing
back.
says totally legit like creeping around a church at 3 in the morning.
Yeah, I think so.
Well, Tansy and the preacher don't really get along.
No, we do not. So I sure
We're
as hell
not there
going
to
in
get
the middle of
along
the
with the
day.
preacher.
Huh?
We're not going there so we can get along with the preacher. We're going.
No, I was just
Okay.
reminding, because the preacher is actually her nemesis.
Yes, he is.
Not nemesis. Nemesis is not her nemesis.
Nemesis
The
is
preacher
not
is
my
her
nemesis. The preacher Evans, is my nemesis.
Ezekiel Stanton.
Oh, Stanton. Wait, is that the preacher?
Yes.
Oh, I have him down as Preacher Evans in my sheet.
Yeah, he usually goes as brother Ezekiel.
Yeah, so you know he's evil.
What the hell? Just a regular preacher at the church in town goes by Brother Ezekiel? It's like some off the walls. They're not like just like Baptists. These people are off the wall.
They're Pentecostal.
Okay, well that's off the wall to me.
Yeah,
Well,
anybody
that's off the
who
wall to
names
anyone.
Yeah, anybody who calls himself Brother Ezekiel is obviously a villain.
The murder hobo name was Isaac Zook.
Gadzooks. All right.
That's double Z's there.
I'm gonna change myself into a house cat.
Okay.
Can I do that without rolling? It's my simple power.
Yeah.
And sneak in through the basement of the church where there's a little opening in the wall. You know, in the
Okay.
wall.
I'm
gonna look for that guy. What's his name? Gadzooks?
Yeah. What's your investigate?
My investigate is the most beautiful number of 1.
Okay. So roll plus investigate.
Oh dear, that's only a 6.
So that is a resounding no. You don't. Well, I mean, you're looking for the guy, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, you find him, he's sleeping. But you don't find anything,
Anything unusual? He's just there sleeping.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm
Does he
gonna
smell?
head up the stairs, or wherever he's not, and unlock the, switch back when I get.
Yeah, he's sleeping in one of the pews. He's got kind of
Oh,
like
okay.
a basically he's got like his head on a backpack and he's got a ratty blanket that he's got pulled over himself.
Okay, I'm gonna go to the side door then. Do churches have side doors?
Sure.
Yes.
Okay, I don't know. And I'll switch back once I'm out of his line of sight and unlock the door and motion for Kismet to come over and see what she can divine about this guy, if anything. He's in there. Go check him out.
Well, she's checked him out.
Well, but not since she had her vision. See if anything resonates with you, with this guy.
Are all of the ghosts still keeping a distance from this guy?
Yeah, there aren't as you get closer to the church, you notice there are fewer and fewer spirits. It's probably I would say like a radius of about like 40 or 50 feet from the church, you start to notice fewer and fewer, and the closer you get, once you get to the building itself, there's like none. There are no spirits.
I forget, I asked them last time why they were staying away from him, but I forget what they said.
Weren't they just afraid?
Maybe that was it. Maybe that's why I don't remember it, because it wasn't worth anything.
Yeah, it was a, oh shit, I could have answered that myself kind of answer. Yeah. Well, I mean, that's the problem with ghosts, is there's not a lot left to them, so they aren't really. You're better off sometimes asking questions of the Fae than you are of ghosts.
Well, that's not helpful. I can't talk to the Fae. I can talk to ghosts.
Well, it doesn't mean that they don't have any. They're completely useless. I mean, they have helped you to some degree.
Oh, that's true.
And knowing that they aren't there is very helpful too. And actually, it's also kind of like a pleasant feel for you, because normally you have all this crap kind of clinging to you.
Yeah.
And this is like the first time you've ever been in a situation where you didn't have at least like 2 or 3 dead things trying to tell you about how much their lives sucked, and when ghosts give up things of their own volition, it's usually not fun facts. It's not oh, I was in love and there was this great woman. It's like no, they sound like a country record stuck on that's skipping sometimes.
Yeah, that's why I have such a pleasant memory.
Yeah. It's just it's this constant buzz of just negative bullshit that you're getting from all these ghosts. And
so it's like being on the internet all the time.
Oh,
yes.
I was going to say it's like Thanksgiving.
It's like
Thanksgiving and everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like Thanksgiving where everyone is the drunken uncle who secretly respects the Nazis.
All right, so let's.
But yeah, so when you come as you move closer to the church, you actually kind of you're normally a kind of a tense person. I'm sure everyone will that's something that people notice about you, and a lot of that is because of the fact you're kind of trying to ignore all of this bombardment. And so as you get closer to the church, you actually feel kind of relaxed.
That's why I invited him over to paint.
Right.
It'll make my life so much easier. Okay.
So,
I don't know what to do with this guy. Would we want to talk to him, or because I already
you're gonna wake him up at 3 o'clock in the morning and ask him about killing people?
Well, I don't know. I just wanted you to check in here and see if you sensed anything. But if you don't, then let's move on.
Well, I mean that's basically the. I mean that's what she gets. That's the feeling she gets. I mean
that I'm at peace.
Well, not at peace, but it's
Less stressful.
yeah, it's calming. There's a calming sense to the area.
No, so
for
is it
you.
just calming because the ghosts aren't bugging me, or is there something else that's making me that's coming from him?
Roll plus investigate?
Ugh. What is my investigate? 1. Wait, how do I do this again?
Just add them together.
2d6 plus whatever.
7.
You can you realize that part of the reason why you're relaxed isn't just because of the lack of spirits. You realize that this is a this place is very strong with death.
This place?
This place or this person?
Well, that's what you're feeling it in this area.
Okay, so
You didn't roll that well.
I turn and I look at Tansy and I say, okay, listen. We need to move him to see if this feeling that I get with a lot of death.
Well, lucky for you, I brought a sleeping potion with me. Now, if we can just figure out how to get it down his throat, we can move him without him knowing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, you have something with telekinesis.
What's your maneuver?
Wait. Do you have a funnel?
I bet
No,
Nemesis.
but I have a straw. I pull out like a wrapped up paper straw that says like Jack in the Box on the side. I'm like, I have this.
No,
Which has apparently been in your purse for a very long time. Because
Yeah, it's all like stained and wrinkled.
got like lipstick on it. No, I don't think that'll work. Unless we convince him to drink it himself.
Dude, wake up and drink this potion. It's okay. It will just put you to sleep.
Do any of our other friends have capabilities that might help us? Like, we just need to know if the sense of death that I have is about the church or about the weird dude.
When he
So
goes over to paint the house tomorrow, perhaps, while he's
Well,
away
if
from
he
it,
does,
could
if
you
he
just check
didn't-
it out then?
I gave him the offer of coming over to paint the house. We didn't like set up a time or anything, and he didn't say for sure that he would come.
He
We
was
could
very
send-
busy with the renovations of the church.
Yeah.
The building is very dilapidated and kind of run down.
One might say decaying.
Yes. Much like a lot of the area, you know. It's an old wooden building on the edge of a swamp. It's not really going to...
I've got it. We should have somebody go on to like Orbitz or something and get a hotel room, a nice comfy one, and because somebody who has money, because I don't, and then
A little surprising, isn't it?
we wake him up and we surprise him. We're like, hey, we got you this great place so you can take a shower and you can have a nice rest on a real bed, and then you can come back tomorrow and be all fresh and everything, right? It's like I know, Tansy. You tell him
Tell me you won a contest.
He won a contest. Yeah.
Oh, perfect. I'll do it. The thing is, I
Give me
don't
a
have.
credit card though.
Nemesis. Here's my credit card. Find a room.
I don't need your money.
Okay, do it with your own money.
Nemesis
I don't care.
probably doesn't know how to use the internet.
Flick my credit
That too.
card back to me, though.
She's
But
probably going to take your card and just start smacking it on top of a computer.
Nemesis, do you know how to book a room online?
I'll just call it up.
You're gonna call
That's,
them,
that's why I have a telephone.
give them your Diners Club card.
That's why I have it helpful. I don't have any. Well, I might have one credit card, But
Well, you can't order a room over the phone without a credit card.
here I can.
Okay. I'm gonna trust you on that one.
What about Sarah?
I have really terrible, well, not terrible, but I don't have very good influence over people. So if someone would like to deliver this message who maybe has a little more
Yeah, I'm at a negative
charismatic
one.
delivery than I do,
This, yeah. Send the awkward death dealer into the
Yeah,
social
I'm
situation.
thinking Sarah might be better at this task just because you know your first impressions that you make on people, Kismet, like you understand.
No, I completely understand. I want nothing to do with this part. I had the idea. You guys have to carry it out.
Sarah, what's your influence? You're muted, Carmen.
My influence is 0.
So's mine. All right, I'll do it.
Well, it doesn't mean that you're not. It just means you're not.
Yeah, it's just I don't have any bonus to
Yeah.
it. So
Yeah, you're just average.
I
So-
would point out that mine is +2.
yours is +2, but you're busy influencing some Motel 6 to take your diner's club.
Yeah, I'll call up the local place.
It doesn't take long. It doesn't have to happen simultaneously.
Okay.
Yeah, which doesn't take terribly long, and I'm sure that one of the nice young people there is somebody that I have fed at some point.
You know everyone.
Or yeah, I actually have a high city connection too.
Okay.
So
All right. So can you come in and tell him he's the lucky winner?
I'm not even gonna tell him he's a lucky winner. I'm gonna tell him that he needs to go take a shower.
Okay. Whatever you want
And-
to do, get him out of here.
So I guess like during
So, I'm assuming you're not going to go in at 3 o'clock in the morning, wake him up, and tell him to go to a
Well, it's
hotel.
No.
like 4:30 in the morning now. It's time to get up.
No, I'll wait till like 7 or 8, and then I'll go around to one of the local hotels, the not a chain, and
Yeah, the bite a while in.
yeah, buy him out a room for like the week, and then go and tell him that if he's gonna come paint my house, that he needs to go take a shower first.
All right, go ahead and roll 2 dice with your influence.
Sadly, only a 7.
Okay. All right. Well, that's enough to give you control over the situation. So you're able to somehow convince him. Apparently, it has been long enough since he's had a shower and/or bath that he's willing to go and hose himself off at least. Maybe
Yeah.
change his clothes.
Well, I didn't give him any new clothes, but
Well, no, I mean he's got other. He's
Okay.
probably been wearing the same set of clothes for a few days.
and I'll give him like $5 for the laundromat.
He's got kind of a human funk to him, not hi, I'm deaf kind of. So
Yeah, and if he's gonna come paint my house, he's not allowed in without showering first.
okay, so morning comes, you manage to get the guy to go off. Now, what's your plan?
I still think we ought to go out to the swamp.
I'm gonna
Since
go make
he's gone, wouldn't it make sense to check the church to see if she's getting that vibe still?
Right.
Yeah.
We need
I'm
to check.
gonna leave the. Do I actually have a VW microbus? For some reason, I keep wanting to say that I do.
Sure, if you want.
Okay. So I'm gonna wait in the bus because I don't like those church people, and they don't like me.
They don't really like me either, but I don't care. So
I have to live in this town, like for real.
so do I now.
Okay.
I'll go though. I don't care. You have your.
Well, you're the one. You're the one that has to sense things. So, I mean,
Yeah,
technically, you do have
exactly.
to go. So,
I have to go.
you
So I
know,
go.
one of you could go along rather than just sending
Is it
the 19-year-old into alone.
is it actually Sunday?
No, it's was it like Tuesday, Wednesday, something like that. It's like the middle.
Well, is it Wednesday?
Sure.
Okay, if it's Wednesday, then I'll take her to Wednesday Mass.
Okay.
Oh God. Okay.
Wait, it's not a Catholic church.
No, it doesn't mean that
I
they
know.
don't.
Is it a Protestant church? Is it an Episcopalian church?
No, it's they're Pentecostal.
Are they
Yeah.
Pentecost?
But I'll go and
You know,
then explain that
they speak
they're
in
not.
tongues. They play with snakes, and
Sounds like Bible study.
Yeah, but I will go
Oh my
and
God.
you're gonna push the
plus that
child
there's
into
no.
the room and go, "I need coffee."
Don't mind the death mate. She just wants to sniff around in here for a bit.
We'll just go in and I'll tell them I'm here for Wednesday Mass, and then I'll raise a bit of a fuss, and
Okay.
she can look around.
It's an open, like, public building, right? There's no reason why I
Yeah.
can't just walk in and look around, right? And we
Right.
don't need to cause a fuss, I think.
No, you don't need a distraction if that's what you're.
Yeah.
Oh no, I wasn't saying
Um,
distraction. I just like to go in there sometimes. Just mess
Go
with them.
ahead and roll.
You people just aren't
roll
Catholic
plus-
enough.
Roll plus investigate.
Yeah.
Who,
I
me?
just-
Yes.
Again? God
Yeah.
damn it.
Um,
Wait, do I get points for all these? Do I get, like, experience or whatever so I can check
shut up and roll.
whatever? I mean, I should. This is powered by the apocalypse. I should, like, when I have feelings, I should get experience. I have feelings.
Are you
Um,
I
don't
will.
now?
lie.
I will make you lucky.
Oh,
Oh.
he's gonna give you luck.
Please.
I don't know what that actually means, because that's my simple power is influencing good or bad luck.
Huh.
So, you have a bond with her, right? Well, you have a bond
Yep.
with the coven. Or do you
Well,
have a
I
bond
also have
with
a
her?
bond with each of them.
Okay. So roll plus your bond with her.
9.
Okay. Hmm. You 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 do this. Kismet gets a +1 to her roll. Now, hold on. However, you did something weird and, like, threw like a mandrake root and it started to sizzle on the floor or something, and a couple of the parishioners kind of notice you're doing weird
Oh,
witch
I
shit.
just figured I had actually given each of them a lucky charm already. I just figured.
Well, I know, but that's
used
that's
hers.
that's basically the way it goes is you help, but at the same time, if you'd rolled better, you could have avoided
Oh,
harm
okay.
to yourself too. But because
Sure.
you didn't, you basically you kind of it's like making the distraction kind of thing.
Okay, that's fine.
Somebody noticed you doing something weird, and they're kind of going, "What the hell is that? This is a house of God," and blast, the usual kind of. Go ahead and roll, Stacy.
I will start to chide them
10.
about not having Wednesday Mass.
Okay.
Is that with your +1?
Yeah.
Cool.
And where are all the candles? I need to light my candles. That's what I was trying to do.
They keep telling you that it's not a Catholic church. They've been telling you that for 20 years now. Stacy, Kismet realizes that it is still a deathy place.
Hmm.
The ghosts are still there. There aren't any. There are no spirits in the building. Period. And you still have that kind of, you know, I want to go
So
hot tubbing in this kind of feel.
interesting. Okay, so is the pastor around?
Probably.
I would like to talk to him about the history of the church.
Okay.
And I probably shouldn't be the one talking to him about the history of the church.
I can't talk to him.
You guys
He's been climbing up to no good in this town. Maybe Sarah can go in and talk to him.
The preacher comes out. He's very old looking.
Does he look like Harry Dean Stanton?
Sort of, yes, but skinnier and older. You could tell he was once tall, but he stoops a bit. And when he walks in and kind of and sees Kismet, he kind of has like a weird look on his face.
Weird how? I'm a 19-year-old skilled in reading micro-expressions.
No, you're not. Nice try. If you were on Twitter, you'd be able to, figure out exactly what he was thinking. I'm sure. But no, you just it's kind of, well, it's something you're kind of used to. People usually act weird the first time they meet you.
Yeah. Okay.
So
it's like a normal weird reaction, not like he's surprised or he's like.
Well, I mean, you're not really
revolted or.
Yeah. No, he's not like he's not like not revolted or he doesn't seem to be scared or anything. It's just the usual kind of
Okay. So I asked him to tell me how what's the history of the church? Did anything really bad happen here?
This is a house of God. Nothing bad happens in the
Have
house
you read
of
the Bible?
He starts going into a speech about smiting fornicators and.
Oh my God! I leave.
You do know that he's been here for 40 years. He's been here almost as long as Nemesis. Nemesis has been here how long? You're a native, right?
Yeah.
So
like 60-some years.
Yeah. So he's been there about 40 years.
Who was there before him?
Miles, make a. I don't even know what the equivalent would be. Just roll.
I got a 10. Do rolling sixes matter?
No.
Okay, I got a 10.
Okay.
If you want me to attach the city bond to that, 12.
Okay, you don't really remember who was the preacher before Brother Ezekiel?
Yeah, I don't go to this church.
Yeah. But you do remember that there was like a big deal when he started coming, or when he came to town, and he fixed up the old building, and you remember there being a church there, but that being a church, but you don't remember it being used. Ethel, how old is Tansy? You'll have to unmute your mic, Ethel. Oh.
Yeah. Just
How old is Tansy?
let me look. Oops. Oh, I closed my.
You were like early 30s, weren't you?
I didn't write it down, but yeah, let's just say it's like 31 or something.
Okay. And Carmen, how old is Sarah?
Mid-30s.
And you're native too, right?
My aunt is, but I've traveled around with my mother in the circus.
Ah. So you probably spent a lot of time there as a kid and then just came back.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, you guys remember the Ezekiel as being kind of a presence in town? You know, the church doing things, having like, potlucks and sort of vague, unspecified charity fundraisers for,
Churchy
missions.
things.
For, churchy things and missions.
Pancake dinner.
Yeah. But yeah, it's just you remember you all know that the church has been here and that Ezekiel has been a part of the church and a part of town and for a while.
Okay. Is that helpful, Stacy?
Sort of. So, is the death emanating from him? Have I narrowed it down any better? Is it the church or is it the person?
You think it might be him?
I think it might be him. I relay this information. I think it might be him.
You're not used to dealing with this sort of stuff, so you're.
I'm not sure what. So, are you like you came back out to the van?
Yeah.
Like you're hanging over the driver's side window.
Sure.
Like, what does that mean? Like when you say it might be him, you mean like the demon, the thing that's threatening us all?
No, I mean whatever is making that place be filled with death magic has something to do with him. Like he might actually be what's emanating.
God. He's the one who's always like snooping around accusing me of being a witch, only he never comes right out and says it. You think he's a witch?
I think he's a something.
You don't think he's a witch?
Yeah, I don't think he's a witch. I think
Freaky.
he's done something or is something or has something.
That narrows it.
Yeah. I don't know.
He likes pancakes in an unnatural way.
And he cannot lie.
Yeah.
I'm a little concerned that we can't remember what came before him.
Well, you don't. I mean,
He's been here since I was born.
Yeah, you've only been here a couple of days.
Well, yeah, I would, but I mean, other people is what I'm saying.
Yeah, you ask when you ask like pointed questions, and the responses are always, "Oh yeah, God, he's been here forever," and I remember the church doing like potato sack races when I was a kid, and blah blah blah. But whenever they try to tell the stories, things are never really that specific.
That's interesting.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah, like people, like they're not real memories. Like they have been implanted and they're just not really specific. I want to. Okay, so then I'll leave the van and just kind of like wander around and just start talking to people about him again. And I'm gonna try to like force them to be specific. Like what day was that sack race, or what was the weather like, or who won? Those kind of things.
When you do that, the people get kind of antsy, and it's like they're going, yeah, it was it was a
So I keep pushing.
I've got to go.
Okay, so if I keep pushing, they leave.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, so I come back and let everybody know that too. So I don't think he's been here for that long.
Well, I've been here since I was born, and I remember him being
Well,
here.
You remember him
25
making.
years
You
ago.
remember him making your childhood kind of a pain.
Well, my parents weren't very well liked, and they weren't church kind of people. They were
No.
kind of petty criminals, if you want to know the truth. And so
Yeah,
I
but
just
Jesus,
always
but Jesus
figured
didn't have a problem with petty criminals.
well, that asshole did.
Well,
so either he has been here all this time, and so I start pushing Tansy for specifics.
And how do I? Can I tell me, GM? Do I remember specifics from 35 years ago when I was 5, 6, 7?
not really. You just go, oh, it's.
Do I start feeling a little bit uneasy when she starts pressing me for stuff?
Yeah, but you're just kind of like, who the hell remembers what they did when they were 6? That's the kind of thing you say.
Or 10 or 12, maybe,
Right.
or whatever.
Yeah,
Maybe I was dropped on my head at one point, and I just don't remember these things, including the being dropped on my head.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't remember anything specific.
Okay, so
You just remember it just and with Tansy, there's a kind of a turmoil when you do push her. She gets kind of agitated because she's like, God damn it, he made my childhood hell. Just don't.
Yeah, I get annoyed because I'm like, I hate that guy. Whatever. I don't even want to talk about it.
wow.
The one thing that you do say, Tansy, is that you're kind of specific about is you say that he was always rotten to me.
He's definitely the problem. So what should we do?
I think you should feed him some of Nemesis's chili.
That's being nice though.
Well, what you do is you put a lot of peppers into it.
It's cyanide.
Sarah, what do we do with evil preachers who bring death?
I think we need to investigate why nobody remembers beyond his arrival, or before that. Has there been a spell put on the town? Is there some kind of magical object that's kind of influencing people?
Is there a library in this town?
Sort of. It's not very good.
Is there a newspaper? Or was there ever a newspaper back in the day?
No, not in town, no. The nearest newspaper comes from probably like a couple 100 miles away.
I think we kind of rely on Nemesis's Nemesis?
Nemesis.
No, it's just
the
one
memories of Nemesis.
Nemesis.
The memories of Nemesis.
Like sands through the hourglass. So are the memories of Nemesis.
The only problem is this is not the church I go to, so I wouldn't know as intimately as somebody who did go.
Well, if you're being influenced by a spell that's been put on cast on the town,
I mean,
did we make it to the basement of the church?
No.
I go to the basement. I would definitely go to the basement.
If there's some kind of pentagram or something carved into the floor.
Evil things are always down, so.
Also, I'd like to point out that this guy's implication doesn't necessarily exonerate the smelly hobo man. They may be in cahoots.
They may be.
Oh, I'm not saying he's exonerated. We just know he's not the source of the death magic. Are the ghosts still keeping a distance?
Yes. Yeah, there's still no ghosts. It's like it's the quietest you've ever experienced in your entire life being around this church.
Okay. I keep volunteering to go back in because of this. I'm gonna just like march down to the basement like I own the place.
Being 19 and a goth.
Right. It's like I don't care.
Unfortunately, the basement is really boring. There's a lot of, there's like some old pews. It's storage. There's books and a bunch of hymnals that apparently haven't been used in a long time.
There's no like magical glowing orb in the middle of it that's summoning skeletons, or
No,
no like a
no,
mysterious antique mirror that's talking to somebody or.
nothing. Mirror, no, that would be awesome, but no.
Are there any records
Yeah.
that go back more than 35 years? Some old banker's
Well,
boxes?
he has like an old Victrola, but I
Record
don't know.
player?
I don't know if 78s are really going to help at this point.
Not those kind of records.
Okay. Is there anything there worth investigating?
You just feel kind of, well, you're fairly bored by the whole thing anyway,
Okay.
and you're just, I mean, it's the typical. It's like, okay, this
It's
sucks.
totally
Where the fuck is the Voldemort crap in this? And so you're kind of, you're kicking things and.
Okay, well, I leave. That's boring.
But yeah, I mean, you definitely get the you can, he's somewhere in the building.
The guy, the pastor?
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to try to find him again. I want to try to find him.
So if there's not something hidden in the basement, I'm wondering if there's something to do with the regular church ceremony. Is it being, subverted for double worship kind of thing?
Well, that would entail going to
a service, or at least observing one.
Yeah.
But it's not Sunday.
They may do a Wednesday night service.
Does he do a Wednesday night service?
No, just Sunday, and it's the Sunday service is like 3 or 4 hours.
3 or 4 hours?
Yeah.
That's really long.
Well, if they're doing double magic, they may need that kind of time.
Wait, I'm just saying.
Well, you have to have time. You have to have time to change in and out of the robes and clean off the blood.
Yeah, 2 hours for Christ, 2 hours for Satan. Those are the rules.
As above, so below.
Okay, this is getting us nowhere. I'm getting impatient.
Okay, so what are we doing?
I have no idea.
I'll head back and start cooking.
Wow. I want to find the pastor and confront him.
Okay. By yourself.
Yep. I mean, I will take help, but everybody seems to be staying in the van or not doing anything. If nobody comes to help me, I'll just go find him.
So what's your plan? To just confront him?
I want to ask him the same specific questions that I was asking everybody else. In this case, I want to ask him very specifically, why can't anybody remember specifics about the time that you've been here? What are you doing to them? I'm literally going to just come out and ask him what the fuck is he doing.
Yeah, do it.
Just to see what happens. I might die.
Yeah. If I hear screaming, I'll come in. But all I can do is watch you try and hurt him because I can't really do much. I could turn into like a badger. Attack as a badger. Shut up.
Honey badger?
No. Well, maybe because you know what? Then I wouldn't give a fuck.
Right.
Yeah, that's the problem. You turn into a honey badger, and then it's like, whatever.
I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
So since Sarah knows some of the people around town, she's going to go in and talk to some of the people that are in the church that have been telling Abula to go away. It's not that kind of church. So parishioners are sitting there milling about. So I'll go and just kind of talk to them, keep an eye on you. Function as backup.
So you're gonna be the responsible adult.
Yeah.
That always ends well for the responsible adult.
Yeah. So
you
Kismet, you need to be tactful. You need to be subtle.
so
You need to
Kismet
be
goes up, bangs on his
smart.
office door.
Yeah, I'm
Hey, freaky dead dude! I got some questions for you.
He kind of, throws the door open. It's, what in the name of God is the problem with you, child?
Why can nobody remember specific things about the events that you've thrown here?
Because they're adults and they've got more important things to think about with their lives?
No. Nobody forgets that many specifics and acts that strangely when you try to push them about them. So I need to know what you're doing.
I am bringing the word of God to the people.
You are bringing death to the people. Rot.
Are you doing anything as you talk, or?
No, I'm just accusing him.
Okay.
Is it easier? Would it, if I tried to use my death magic, would it be easier to actually do it here?
Maybe.
I want to try to summon a graveling then.
Okay.
Oh my God. Here goes our cover, guys. We're going to have to find a new town soon.
Okay.
You guys are just gonna let me do things, then this is what's gonna happen.
So
I'm
in the
in character.
meantime,
I think
I'm
it's great. At
talking
least
to
something's happening.
I'm talking to some of the townspeople. I'm asking them about, anything that's been happening more recently.
I thought you were with Kismet to make sure she didn't do anything stupid.
Well, the parishioners that are still in the church. I've been talking to them. I've been trying to figure out, asking the same questions that she's asking with more, maturity.
You hear shouting coming from the back. You can hear the two of them yelling at each other.
Yeah, but I don't hear anything. Bodies dropping, so I'm just.
Well, not yet, but you hear a lot of, listen, you fucking fuck from Kismet.
So her usual.
So how is he responding?
Patterns.
Well, whenever he goes into a thing about, don't blaspheme, child. This is the house of God.
So he's not copping to anything. He's telling her she's being ridiculous, right?
Yes.
Do I look like somebody that God cares about?
God cares about everyone.
That's what you think.
Yes. I know you've been troubled in your past. That is no reason to take that out on the works of God.
You know I've been troubled in the past. You don't know anything about me. It's like a staring contest.
Now you're just glaring at each other pretty much.
All right, at this point I think we need a distraction, so I'm going to knock something over in his office with my telekinetics.
I still want to do the graveling summoning deal.
Well, you can't do that until you stop talking to the preacher.
Well,
right?
She stopped. Now all she's doing is glaring at him. She can glare. She's a teenager. She can glare at summon dead things.
How do I do this?
What is it on your?
It's difficult.
What is it on your portfolio?
It's difficult. What's the rating?
Okay. So what you're gonna have to do is you're gonna have to push your power.
Okay. Do I get an experience point for doing that or something?
Shut up. You and your experience points.
What if I talk about my feelings while I'm doing it? Do I get more experience?
Then you get less.
If you feel that you should get experience points.
All right, go ahead and go. This is just a straight roll. Just roll 2d6.
6.
Oh, well, that sucks.
But do I get any bonuses because of the area and what's going on here and all of the death?
Yeah, but you still that roll sucked. So you take a what did you say the power was? What is
Summon.
it?
Oh, it's difficult.
It's difficult.
Yeah.
You take a critical condition.
Okay.
I don't know what would be a critical condition from for your character.
I don't know what's critical. I mean, that's the highest thing on there. Is it going to be like a gunshot wound or like
Yeah,
I don't
it's
know.
up to you what the preacher does to her.
No. This is from her own power because she's
Oh, it
trying to push it.
backfires?
Well, no, it's because it's a difficult power, so she has to push it to get it to work.
Right, but
So it's like exhausting myself or
Well, being critical, I would imagine you probably it's probably something anime, and you start like bleeding, like out of your nose and your ears, and your eyes. You just start bleeding out of like your face. Your face,
but
you've
Tansy
got like
was bleeding last time.
you what?
Tansy was bleeding last time from something.
Well, I think she got a head trauma.
All right, so I just
yeah,
start.
her name is Kismet.
Yeah, you start. I mean, and you can feel, you can feel kind of, well, because you're losing a lot of blood. This isn't like you're just kind
Okay, it
of.
just keeps happening. Like,
Yeah, you're just like it's like there's you're bleeding. It's as if you've taken hits, kind of bleeding.
Okay.
So it's like you're kind of like going whoa, and you look kind of carryish at this moment, I would imagine, but it's your blood rather than being poured on you.
Okay. Well, I pass out from blood loss,
And then what does your graveling do?
and my graveling.
Tell us about your graveling. What is it? How does it feel right now?
It's feeling conflicted. I mainly wanted to see what his reaction was to summoning the Graveling. But it's just going to go run into his office and cause merry mayhem.
So you're passed out on the floor from blood
And
loss.
there's a kind of like a anime zombie looking thing standing over her.
But that's not
What's
the
the preacher
Graveling, or that
doing?
is the Graveling?
No, that is the graveling.
So he's not running into the office and doing mayhem.
No.
He's just lurking over her.
Well, because she passed out, so.
And how does the preacher look at the Graveling? Does he see it?
It's kind of hard to miss an anime zombie.
And how is he reacting?
It's like he's like holding his cross out.
But he doesn't look surprised or fearful. He's just
No.
holding his cross.
Right.
Like he's seen them before.
Well, probably not exactly like this because it is kind of a personalized representation. You may want to get her out of there. Because you heard the thunk, you look, and you see her passed out, and there's blood everywhere. You don't know how it got there.
So everybody's turned to look to see what's going on.
Yes.
And in a moment of fear, they all run out the front door.
Okay.
We've got Tansy in the van, still correct?
Yes.
Yep.
She sees this rush of 4 people going out the front door. I wonder.
Yeah,
what's
they're
going
all
on.
kind of screaming because they're not used to seeing anime zombies.
Right. So does Tansy rush in? Does she stay in the van?
Tansy.
I'm thinking, yeah. Yeah, I see these people run out screaming, so yeah, I whip the door open and go rushing up there to see what's going on.
So I'll lift Kismet up telekinetically and move her out of the way of the zombie.
Well, why don't you just get her in the van? We need
Because
to
at
get the
this-
fuck out of here.
I'd like to see what's going to happen between the zombie and the preacher.
Oh, okay. I don't. Yeah. Okay. Okay.
So does the preacher defeat the zombie with his cross? Does the zombie eat the preacher? What's going on?
No, the zombie won't approach the preacher.
So he's a zombie statue.
I wouldn't say statue. He's kind of like, you know, and it looks like it's sort of a combination of he's trying to protect Kismet and like an instinctual kind of protecting his master, and it's just not, it doesn't want to go towards the preacher.
So in some ways, it's as fearful of the preacher as the ghosts are.
Yes.
Okay, so we can't have a zombie running around. So I'm going to throw a fireball at it so it's consumed, and then we'll take Kismet out to the van and we'll leave. Does that sound reasonable?
Well, there's a good chance you do that. You might catch something on fire in the church.
Yeah, I don't think you need to kill the zombie. It's Kismet's. It can come with.
I mean, yeah, you don't know that it won't follow. So it
We'll
is
have a
just kind of
zombie on the loose.
it is just kind of standing over her, you know.
Can I grab it and just drag it out of there?
It?
The graveling.
If you want, sure.
Okay, and I just say to Sarah, get her out of here.
Right, so we get out into the van. The preacher's watching us leave, so there's no... He knows we're all together and we're all working to figure out what's going on.
Yeah,
so
this
there's
is
no...
absolute worst case scenario for me because I am trying, I'm driven. It's my mission in life to keep the secret that we are a coven of witches.
And Kismet screwed that up.
Mm-hmm.
All right,
well,
so we get out the van.
That really shouldn't shock anyone, you know.
Right. So.
All right, so you drag the zombie and Kismet. There is like blood everywhere. You're leaving like a trail of like blood as you drag her out. I mean, she has no wounds, but there is just blood everywhere. I mean, it's coming out of her eyes, her nose, her mouth, her ears.
Make it stop.
I'll give her a healing potion when we get to my place.
Well, why don't you try doing that and I'll drive.
She's gonna completely ruin the upholstery in the van.
Yeah, well, I've got potions for that. Cleaning potions.
So we're driving to Nemesis's, or are we driving to Tansy's?
Well, there'll probably be fewer people at Tansy's.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, because at Nemesis, whatever the fuck.
At the home of Nemesis.
Yeah, they always have a party at her house, right?
Yeah, the house of Nemesis, like it's a fashion.
Right.
But there's, you know, because there's always random people, so odds are, you know, you're gonna drag in a teenager who's bleeding inexplainably. I mean, by this point, she has lost. I mean, she is. I'm not gonna say lost. I mean, she looks kind of pale, but well, she did normally. But
that's a good question.
She has bled an inordinate amount of blood. You're both going. You know, this is a lot of blood that this person is bleeding.
I'm going to ask her. Are you? Tell me how you're feeling.
She's out cold.
She's out cold. Okay,
Yeah,
well, I'm going to force some heals down her throat. Do I need to roll for that for my potion?
No, you've already made the potion?
Yeah.
All right, yeah, you just, you know, you pry open her mouth and there's like blood in her mouth. I mean, you open her mouth and it's like those chocolate fountains that just kind of bubble up.
Mm-hmm.
It's like that, but blood. She's just like, you open her mouth and it's just, blood just is kind of everywhere and it just keeps coming out.
All right, I'd get some heals down her.
Okay. You pour a few potions in and she kind of, starts twitching a bit, but the blood, the bleeding doesn't stop completely, but at least, she's not all stigmata on you now. It's kind of, it's kind of slowed to a trickle of blood, and it's mostly now it's just kind of like coming out of her eyes and ears, and her hair is all like matted with blood and
Okay, so when we get back to my place, I take off all her clothes and put her in the bathtub.
She's hitting on you again, Kismet.
What are you doing?
I'm stripping you naked, but I'm putting you in the bathtub. That's what I'm doing. I'm not hitting on you.
Oh, great.
You're all covered with blood, and your clothes are soaked, and your hair is matted with blood.
Fantastic.
Blech. You're kind of gross, to be honest.
Yeah, Kismet, you come to and you're in the bathtub, and Tansy she's got like the shower head is off, and she's like kind of spraying water all over you, and
wow, what?
And you're undressed again. Well, not again. She hasn't undressed you previously, but
I was gonna say.
Sorry.
Okay, I come to.
Yeah, you come to. You're like You're naked in a tub. It's not full of water. That you can see there's blood all over the place, and you can yeah. The last thing you remember is you summoned your graveling and then you hit the floor.
So I asked what happened.
I don't know. I came into the church and you were covered with blood and that thing, and I point out the bathroom door to the kitchen table, and her graveling is sitting there.
Yeah, it's sitting there, and it's got like a dump truck, and it's rolling it back and forth between hands. And it's just like
it'll go away eventually. What did the pastor do?
I don't know. Ask Sarah.
The pastor just held out his cross, and the graveling seemed like he was afraid to get any closer. So it was just kind of a standoff between the two of them.
But it seemed it was wanting to protect her too.
Okay.
But I didn't say that, so you don't know that.
Right.
She doesn't like you enough to admit that the zombie was trying to protect you.
You just don't want her to summon another one.
I just don't think it's that relevant at this point. It didn't do a very good job.
Well, I mean, if the preacher had tried something, it probably would have done something. So.
Okay, well, I'm tapped out.
Anybody else? Yeah, so
you're really thirsty.
I'm really thirsty.
I bring her a beer.
That's great.
So
hey, that's what my people do. My people, when they're thirsty, they drink a beer. Okay.
So she got you naked, and now she's giving you alcohol. How do you feel about that, Kismet?
Do I get an experience point for feeling?
Shut up.
Then I don't feel.
I feel nothing. I just don't want bloody dead girl all over my house.
Yeah, you can tell. I mean, you can see that there's like blood all over the place. There's like a trail
cleaning this up for hours
of ichor, and through the house from where they dragged you into the house and.
Whatever. The GM made up the effect. It's not my fault.
GM, what are you talking about?
Kismet turns to the camera and says.
But I'm
breaking the fourth wall there.
If the GM would just give me XP, none of this would happen. Okay. Why don't we? I know it's only about an hour and a half. Why don't we make that our save point? So that seems a good stopping point.
Okay.
And
Doesn't seem like we've actually done anything, but maybe we have.
I'll give you something to think about. Think about what you've
back of my
done.
hand to think about.
All right.
So we now know that the creepy, passive feeling that Kismet gets is coming from the preacher, not the hobo. So the hobo is just going to come over and pay and not give her any relief from her ghosts.
Maybe.
Maybe the hobo is actually on to the preacher, and he's actually our ally in this. Did you
Maybe.
ever think of that?
I don't think so. They both have Z's in their name.
Maybe I'm just collecting these in case they're useful later.
I think we should all just go get some rest and go and meet at the diner for pancakes next time.
Have I stopped bleeding?
No, you're still bleeding.
Fantastic.
It's just it's not, you know.
We'll bring you a to-go container.
Yeah, it's just kind of like, you know, seeping now. You know.
Lindsay
Ew.
can give you another healing spell in a bit.
Kismet, you're seeping.
Well, stay in the bathtub.
Yeah, just stay in the bathtub. Sleep in there, okay?
Yeah. We'll put some ice and beer into the sink. You'll be fine. All right. Say goodnight, everyone.
Good night, everyone.
Good night, all.
Hi, everyone.
I